If you know Jake Sampson of Sampson Racing Engines, then I don't have to tell you that Jake knows his stuff when it comes to engine work. He learned everything he knows about engine building from his grandfather, Mike Kelly Sr., who runs Kelly's Automotive still today at the ripe age of 82. Jake started Sampson Racing Engines, otherwise known as SRE, in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota in 2010. The small two-man shop does a little bit of everything, such as service work for local dealerships and mechanic shops, cylinder head repair, grinding flywheels, and more. On the performance side, Sampson Racing Engines does work on dirt circle track engines, street strip engines, drag racing and mud racing engines, and more there as well. Jake's recent engine obsession has been focused on the 6.2 and 6.4 liter BGE-based Hellcat engines. The shop recently built a 428 cubic inch Gen 3 Hemi Hellcat, and we're going to give you all the details in this episode of Engine of the Week.
This video is sponsored by Pengrade, Precision Performance Pengrade, always the original green oil. And by L-Ring, leading technology, leading service.
I'm Greg Jones, editor of Engine Builder magazine, and today we're talking about Sampson Racing Engines' 428 cubic inch Gen 3 Hemi Hellcat engine. The build was done for a customer who wasn't happy with the power levels on the OE assembly after the boost was cranked up. The 10% overdriven OE Hellcat blower seized and made rotor contact, causing the case and lower intake to shatter, sending shrapnel through the rest of the engine. The new engine is 428 cubic inches with a 4/100 bore and 40/50 stroke. It has a 10-to-1 static compression ratio, ported Hellcat heads, and runs on E85 fuel with a 4.2 liter Kenny Bell blower. Sampson Racing Engines typically will over-engineer engines like this for longevity purposes and for the eventual power upgrade that always seems to happen. To start the build, the shop used a new BGE 6.2/6.4 liter block from Chrysler. Sampson deburred the block, torque cycled the ARP main studs a minimum of 3 times, did an align bore, and honed the mains. The shop then square decked the block and bored the cylinders 10 over to get to a 4/100 bore. Sampson has also found that the factory cylinder wall finish has a very steep crosshatch angle of about 70 degrees, which causes excessive ring rotation and lowers the longevity of piston rings and cylinder wall finish. So, the shop uses its own procedure to correct the cylinder wall finish and profile. From there, Sampson Racing Engines will precision balance the rotating assembly with all individual parts weight matched to within 0.5 grams, and the crankshaft is balanced to within less than 1 gram per inch imbalance. After all the parts are washed, assembly can start. And for this Hellcat build, the shop used King bearings, a Molnar crankshaft, a 6125 connecting rod, CP Carrillo pistons, Total Seal rings, Stanky Performance rocker shafts, hold downs and shaft collar clamps, a custom Callie's billet camshaft ground by Urson camshafts, Johnson race lifters, and custom Smith Brothers push rods. As for the rest of the engine, Sampson Racing Engines tailors the camshafts and cylinder heads to the use the engine will see in the vehicle. By doing this, the shop can provide a much more optimized engine rather than having a one-size-fits-all build. With the shop's handiwork all done, this 428 cubic inch Gen 3 Hemi Hellcat is capable of cranking out some durable, high horsepower. Well, that does it for this episode of Engine of the Week. A special thanks goes out to our sponsors, Pengrade Motor Oil and L-Ring. And remember, if you have an engine that you'd like to feature, please email me at gjones@babcox.com. See you all next time.